Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back for the first part of the reunion for Love and Marriage DC. And there was a lot that was discussed here. I might leave some things out, but I got really annoyed while watching this because it is clear that there is a division amongst the cast, and it is clear that certain people are allowed to get away with things. Example, Jamie, and others are not. But we'll get into it when we get into it. Before I forget, Clifton has ran into Quick a couple of times since the statement was made that he's going to handle business or whatever he said with Clifton. Jamie, even at one point, if I recall, told him that Quick said it. So the fact that Clifton waits until the reunion to want to address it when all of security is around, sits down while Quick is up trying to get at him, and waits until security surrounds him to want to get up when he had ample opportunity to step to him, reminds me of the clown that Clifton is. Everyone is up on Twitter talking about how Clifton would do this and how Clifton would do that, yada, yada, go. Let me tell you something. I've seen some real fights, some gully fights in Brooklyn. Like when I say some fights, some fights. And when I tell you that a lot of those big guys, a lot of those tall guys, that they fall hard, they fall hard. Quick may have a little bit of mouth, may have been wrong in wanting to defend his wife, according to some of you all. I think given the information that he was given from his wife, he believed what she had to say. Whether we agree with the reaction or not, keep sleeping on them little people, those shorter people who you feel like can't handle themselves, and watch what will happen. After all, didn't Goliath sleep on David? I know I'm bringing Bible to you, but he slept on him, and what happened? David, the little shepherd boy, is who ended up defeating him. But let's get into it. We got the Petties, the Tylers, the Silvers, and Winter all on separate couches. We find out that Ashley and Winter have been hanging out a lot. We know. I actually need to go look at their YouTube channel and see what that's about. We begin with the Tyler segment. And one of the things, this is so close to me, that I did not like is I feel like the ball was dropped because Jamie has a tendency to not be held to the fire like he should be. You spend a lot of time talking about the things to me that doesn't really matter. We get a plethora of flashbacks to the point where I forgot about a lot of this happening because we talk so much about Joy and Ashley for this season that we really missed a lot of good substance moments. The subject of Jamie's drinking comes up. Carlos says, people are saying, you're an alcoholic. Are you? And Jamie wants to know who people are. Carlos says, people. He says, who are people? What people? And Carlos should have said, the internet as well as some of your cast members, because there have been things on the internet in regards to this, but he just sticks to cast members. I wish he would have said what cast members actually said that, because later on, all the cast members deny it. So Carlos turns to Ashley and says to Ashley, do you think that Jamie is an alcoholic? And Ashley says, no. That I have, in fact, defended Jamie against the alcohol rumors and against the cheating rumors. And Raina says, I'm glad you did that because we would have done the same thing to you and for you. Ashley adds that Jamie, however, has been going around town saying that he can't wait to come for Ashley at the reunion. Ashley says, I never called you an alcoholic. What I did call you was an a-hole. Raina then acts like she didn't hear anything that Ashley said, and she starts going in on Ashley, talking about somehow you shouldn't say anything about him being an alcoholic because you drink more than he does. She just sat there and defended your husband and said that she didn't say that he was an alcoholic. And yet here you are trying to throw her under the bus. And Ashley kind of calls her out on it. Ashley then says, like, you got all this energy now that we're on camera, but I saw you not too long ago and you weren't like this. So why are you now doing this on camera? She says, because unlike you, I'm grown. I can be cordial and still have a problem with you. And you can be cordial, but the amount of heat that was on, like before they even sat down on the couches, you could tell it was going to be a heated exchange. They're arguing back and forth. Ashley then pulls out the prop that is like where you would start a scene or whatever, or end a scene. And she's like, come on, actress, come on, actress. Raina tells her she's 12 years older than her little girl, etc., etc. She's a grown woman who knows how to walk into a room and speak. But to be fair, if I remember correctly, when Raina had issues with Winter, she walked into the room and did not speak. So don't act like you're always grown when you too have moments where you're not being grown, where you're stirring the pot, where you're not acting like you're 12 years older than Ashley. And I like Raina, but I gotta call the Tylers out on their crap, because the Tylers get away with a whole bunch of stuff. Quick says, let's bring it back, because all this stuff doesn't matter, to the question that you asked, which is, did any of the cast say he was alcoholic? And the answer is no. You have Jamie fussing, saying, yes, you did. You insinuated that you made that based off of your insinuations that I drink too much. This is what I have to say about that. If you get on the television screen while drinking and you make certain statements about your child, and when Ashley and Quick call you out on it, you say you didn't say it, yet production can flash back and show us that you did say it. You don't remember saying it, even though we saw you say it. Then at another point, you're in the hallway fussing and yelling at your child. Then at another point, you're coming at your wife. Then at another point, you trying to fight your child in the hallway, and you have grown men in security trying to hold you back. We don't think that that's a problem. Maybe it's not that you're an alcoholic. Maybe it's that you can't handle your anger with your liquor. Clifton then speaks up and says, as far as the alcoholism issue, I've never seen anything like that. And Joy starts laughing and says, if anything, when he drinks a lot, he falls asleep. We've seen it. Did you all watch the show? Because we've seen a few instances where Jamie has alcohol and starts issues and is disrespectful to his wife, which is part of the reason why that's something that has been said on Twitter. They then talk about little Jamie. They claim that he is better and he's a different person. We've heard them say that before. He says that what we saw in the hallway was them being in a bad space because they didn't have certain conversations. And what we saw in that hallway wasn't because of alcohol. It was because he was mad and that the cameras just happened to be around. And I don't buy it, because you could have handled that situation in a better way. You talking about how he stepped to you, but you were in his face. You were being argumentative with him. You were being belligerent towards him. You had an attitude because he was late. Like, there were other things that led up to whatever you feel like his reaction was when little Jamie came in. But they make excuses for Big Jamie. I don't care that Big Jamie was a detective for 25 years, especially since your first couple of seasons on the show, we didn't know that. We just knew that you were a TikTok person. So don't come here now and try to have all this talk about you being a detective this and you being a detective that, and we're just supposed to change all the other things that we saw just because you're a detective. I don't care. And I mean, I may be seeming harsh this review, but at this point, having to watch these people for 2 hours, I am tired of the crap. Ashley says one of the reasons why she decided to meet up with little Jamie and talk to him is because she saw a lot of herself in him, that they needed to have that conversation because she just wanted to check in on him. Raina says that she's glad that Ashley did have that because he does look up to Ashley and he is appreciative of what she did, and so is she. Quick says when he got into it with little Jamie, it was never his intention to come across the way he did and say that he was a bad kid. That's not what he meant. They fixed it, but I wish they would have showed us the things that his own father said about him. Because let's be clear, y'all want to go in on Quick for what Quick said, but we know what Quick meant when he said what he said. Yeah, he shouldn't have said bad kid. You want to get caught up in bad moments. Maybe that's what he should have said. But Quick hasn't said nearly the amount of cruel things that Jamie has said. But we didn't bring up any of that. Instead, we're talking about stuff to me that doesn't matter, because what his father does and says has more of a weight to that young man. The subject of possible cheating comes up. I don't know why we're talking about this. We've already talked about it before. These two aren't going to be honest about the situation because he didn't even want to be brought in the first place. Even with the way that they're talking about how it wasn't actual physical cheating, it was emotional cheating because there was some stuff in the phone and, she didn't see anything else. But then in the next breath, you're saying you didn't ask him the questions about how he cheated and what he did because you didn't want to know the answers. You're lying. Nothing about that sounds believable. And that's dangerous that you're in that type of denial. We get to the Silva segment. They were on the Silva's necks for a while. Quick says he works so much because not only is he trying to make sure that his wife and kids are good, but he wants everybody that's attached to him to do good as well. He feels like everyone around them should be millionaires. I can respect that hustle. He says he has been working for a good portion of his life, and it's hard for him to turn it off, that making money is addictive. He commends Ashley for being supportive and for being the person that she is, and he admits that Ashley is stronger than him. She, however, is tired of being the only hands-on parent. She adds that whether she stays or not, if she does decide to leave, she will be financially taken care of even if she leaves him, which goes to show you that they got money. They have money. Before this show, they had money. I want Quick to get it together, though, because for her to have been complaining about this same thing for the 3 seasons now, you need to fix it. Ashley says she's been to therapy. Quick hasn't. She's asked a question about if she's happy or not. She tells Carlos 50% of the time she is not happy. Unless you have a therapist there, I don't think that Carlos is the person who should be digging this up. And it's interesting how she's expected to be transparent in these moments, but when Joy would have been asked this question, she would have said something like, this isn't a safe environment. I feel like Ashley has a lot of mess with her at times. There are things that I wish that she would have been doing differently, especially the Clifton situation and the things that she says in regards to him. But one thing that I can say is Ashley is more transparent about the things that are going on in her life, unlike a lot of this cast. He starts making it about himself, and his mom, Carlos, does, talking about how one of the things his mom died at 60-something from cancer. And she always, she was a stay-at-home mom like Ashley. And he just wonders if his mom, did so much and put the kids first and she died unhappy. And Ashley's like, I'm happy at times. I'm not happy all the time, but I'm happy. And unlike before, I'm making time for myself now, and I'm not making myself feel bad about it. My kids are older. She says the thing is that she feels like Quick has a lot of trauma, and his trauma isn't something that could be fixed by money. Money isn't going to bring his parents back. And she admits that it sounds harsh. I do commend Ashley for being open and real about her struggles within her marriage. Because as I said, Arena and Jamie are great at deflecting and avoiding telling us what's really going on. But I don't feel like they should be giving as much to the show about their marriage as they are, especially when the people around you aren't doing the same, and some of them may be even wanting their downfall. Quick admits to not know how to balance it all. He said he's open, though, to learning how to, and he's open to going to therapy. And Ashley's like, okay, he's open to go to therapy, but he's a grown man and he wants me to schedule it, but I need him to schedule it for himself, which is fair. I think before they do couples counseling, Quick needs to have some individual counseling because he has a lot of scars in regards to his parents. Carlos, suggests that one of the things that he does from now on is let the people that he works with know on this day or these days, however they work it out, these are times for Ashley, and they need to begin to schedule things around that. And that part I did agree with. We get to the Petties. They say that this franchise is more difficult to tape in than their previous one. We then talk about Ashley revealing the wedding. I'm going to tell y'all how I feel. I think that the issue that they really had with this, but they'll never admit it, is that they were hoping that they would get a spinoff from doing their marriage on this show. Because how did we go from seeing everything before that moment talked about planning a wedding? Like, that's all they had was planning a wedding, moving into the house, her possibly having a baby, but it was more so planning the wedding. How do we go from talking about the wedding in this beard oil to nothing but the beard oil? If you really were planning on planning a wedding, then why not just still do that even after whatever was revealed from Ashley? They are sticking to this. They're saying to Carlos, it's just something, Clifton says, that they wanted to have for themselves because they were on TV before. I'm going to tell y'all like this. No shade to Ready to Love, because I watched it for several seasons, especially the resort seasons, best ones if you ask me. But Ready to Love wasn't that invasive unto you all. You all have put enough on social media for us to see who you are. You sitting here saying that you just wanted, time for your love to be your love and for your moment to be yours. If that's truly the case, then why even come on this show and talk about a wedding? Because you were hoping that they would pick it up. I don't care what they say. You all tell me what you think down below. I feel like if you really felt that way and you wanted to have something to yourself, you should have kept the wedding planning and all that to yourself too and give us something else. Ashley admits that when she originally apologized to Joy, that she was not remorseful. That it wasn't until she saw her face and she saw her hurt that she became remorseful. So she got in the car and she apologized again. Joy tries to act like it didn't happen. And she says, no, Joy, you're talking about a text message. But before that text message, I called you and I apologized to you again. And that had remorse. And then I text you. Don't act like I didn't call you first. Joy admits, okay, yeah, that's true. Clifton is asked by Carlos, why did he feel like Ashley would spill this story? And he said, because based on, what I've seen of Ashley, I just felt like she would do it. She says, if I really had planned on spilling it, then I could have easily told production. I could have called them and been like, okay, so are y'all going to film them at the wedding house? Like, what are y'all doing since they're already married? But I did not do it. That is true that she could have spilled it in another way. All Ashley needed to say that she was sorry and genuinely mean it. But Ashley is the type of person that if you hurt her, she's going to hurt you more. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't been that way before either. Whether you care for Ashley or not, she handled it the way she handled it. But this whole thing and the amount of time that we saw all of this other stuff, there's so much more that we could have seen this season. Some kind of way, the conversation about Sherelle comes up because apparently while they were there, Clifton started asking something about how is she being a fitness instructor when she's her size. And Ashley says, you're missing pieces of the conversation because you were on the phone for like 15 or 20 minutes with Carmen while we were eating crabs. And Quick says that's because he was handling business. Basically like, don't go there, honey. He was doing business. Don't make it seem like it's something else. So Clifton takes this opportunity to be the lame that he is and says, yeah, you want to talk about handling business, like handle it. So Quick says, I am handling business. I'm doing DJ schools. I got this going on. I got this going on. He's going down the list. And he says, no, you said you were going to handle business. Handle me. We then get the flashback out of it. But as I said, Jamie already told him what Quick said. This is not new news, despite them acting like it is. and Twitter forgetting, it's not new news. This was already told to him, and he was laughing about it and joking about it prior to. He said, Quick did, if I had real beef with you, you wouldn't be walking. And that's in real life. This is what I want to say. Do I feel like Ashley was wrong in certain situations? Yes. I do respect Quick for knowing this situation and having his wife's back. I also would like to make it abundantly clear, Clifton can be, and I think I said this earlier in the top, as big as he wants to be. No one other than Clifton is afraid of that. Clifton claims that he will ball him up. He calls him Scrappy, doing some other things too. He obviously practiced this. As he's saying this, Quick jumps to his feet. I mean, right away, like, he's jumping up. Carlos is jumping up, trying to back him up. Now, if Quick really wanted to get to him, could he get to him? Yeah, he could have moved faster than that. But I feel like Quick is standing up, letting him know, you're not going to punk me. I also feel like because Clifton remained in that seat, Clifton wasn't expecting for Quick to pop up, number one. And number two, Clifton was yapping because he could have walked up on him earlier on before that, said something before that. He was waiting for that segment so he could say whatever he wanted to say. As Clifton is coming at Quick, Jamie isn't a real friend because Jamie is sitting there smirking. Like, while Raina's shaking her head like, okay, here we go. Clifton is still sitting there while Quick is going off. Quick sits down. Clifton waits for security to surround him before he gets up and acts like he's going to do something. And Quick sees it for what it is and is like, go ahead and let security walk you out. Ashley's like, look, this ain't no TV show. This is what I want to say. Quick is from the street. Whether it was when he was young or not, he's from the street. He's been through some things. You can play all you want to and make whatever claims you want to make. Understand that, like Ashley said, this is more than TV. And I think that for Carlos to not know that one of the two of them was going to pop off at each other, that shows just how, what's the word? I want to say he's dense. Because Carlos, you always got toxic men on these shows. And I don't understand what it is about you having these toxic men and why you can't understand that certain things just, it's not, I just can't do it. Y'all, this episode made me mad, especially at the end. Me personally, I'm the type of person who I cannot go back and forth with you. I cannot. You will not see me going back and forth with you because even with the way that he was talking to Quick, I got to be honest. If I was Ashley, I probably would have went at Joy. I'm just being honest. It's my toxic trait. I'm not going to go and fight no man, but I would have fought her because of what you're doing to my husband. Don't judge me, y'all. Just understand. I'm just telling you my truth. Y'all, let me know what you thought about this first part of the reunion. If I left something out that you want to discuss, feel free to put it down below. Like the video, it helps me out. I'm on the road to 2,000 and I plan on getting there sooner than later. Until next time.